What's going on, everybody? Check out this clip from the Pre-Patch podcast. In every way, shape, or form, this game should hit all of the fucking buckets, and it's blowing up on Steam or on Twitch. It's blowing up on YouTube. I seem to be in the minority, and I am trying to figure out why. But what I am talking about is Once Human.
Don't worry, man. I'm right there with you.
For all of the,
I'm not.
What is this? I haven't heard of this at all. Am I under a rock?
Really? I thought you
kind of.
seen
yeah.
It's
Kroby play this.
it's been out for. I think they did one other open or like closed open
They've
beta
done
prior.
They've done a couple.
Two.
I think they've been done two. This is their third. With this.
So yeah.
So let me start the long history of where this came from, right? So whenever the day after tomorrow did not happen, right? And it was not it got the rug pull. This shortly after, like very shortly after, dropped.
And that's not saying we're comparing it to that.
No,
we're just giving a time frame.
Right.
I was about to say I wouldn't compare this to the
No,
I
I'm
want
not.
to clarify that it's not. That's not a comparison.
Right. I'm not comparing it at all.
Where you were going with that?
It was right after day after tomorrow. Got the rug pulled. This we started hearing rumblings of this game. And then they shortly
tomorrow.
The day before,
whatever. Day after tomorrow, day before, fucking movie. I don't know. It's all whatever. You know what I'm fucking talking about. This game then had its first closed beta, alpha, play test, whatever it was. And what this is a this is one of my problems.
Well, just give the base of what it's
supposed to be is a open world survival looter shooter game with dungeon mechanics and
it's a story.
Yeah, there's a story, and it's set in this post-apocalyptic world.
Zombie cryptid type.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about the good, and then I'm gonna talk about the bad, right?
Well, that'll be a fast segment.
So the good, and again, on the surface, you look at it and you're like, man, cool, this has a lot of good elements. There's a lot of different weapons. There's a lot of different loot that you can get, upgrades that you can get, mods that you can get for your weapons. So there's a really good kind of gameplay loop that's there. You have dungeons, like the dungeons that I did, I played really cool. Their dungeon elements are really good. When I went into that boss fight, that was a really fun boss fight. I had a lot of cool mechanics. The character designs or the creature designs, the enemy designs, I really think are cool. I like
PvP.
So there is PvP, but I'll get to that. So there's PvP. And again, it's not super the guns and stuff like that are not crazy far-fetched and some futuristic shit. You do have a fish as a sword. That was kind of weird, but
swordfish.
Yeah, well,
kind
of.
I didn't see a fish as a sword.
There is one. It's a big bass or some fucking big ass fish. It's kind of odd, but that's the premise behind it. But again, the good is the world is really cool. Again, the premise behind it seems really dope. The problem is the in my opinion, right? And I think Scruffy's opinion is the execution of it is not done. So one, this is done by NetEase. That already puts a bad taste in my mouth, right?
That's literally for me. That's the only strike against it. The only mark against
you and I had two completely different experiences.
Yeah.
But it is, so NetEase is doing this. One, you have to, and this will change with the Steam launch, but right now you have to launch the NetEase browser, which runs constantly in the background.
So there's two check marks against it. The NetEase and the launcher. Those are my two major problems. And I had that problem from the start. I got into the original one and wanted to play in it, but as soon as I got into their launcher and they were like, hey, give me your Discord information, hey, give me your Facebook information, I was like, no, I'm good.
It was actually for all this personal information.
Cut that out, man. I'm not doing that.
Super invasive.
So are you done with your pros, by the way?
Oh yeah, no, that was it.
Okay, so just to go with that, like the game in itself is very sketchy. Just why would they even have you play this playtest on a separate launcher when it's on Steam and they could just do their playtests on Steam? It's already got a page and everything. So the fact that they make you go to a separate launcher is already sketchy, and all the information
Their
they're asking
website is
for,
also
and
sketchy.
their website is really bad, because when I went to it, first of all, it was like super low resolution, and I was like, am I even? I thought I was on a fake website that was mimicking the once human website. I was like, this does not seem right. All bad. And then when you get into the game, another really big worry for me is just the chat alone. I saw in the chat so many people posting hyperlinks.
Yeah.
And if you guys know what other game was notorious for having hyperlinks in their chat, ding, 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 New World. That went to so many security risks, bricking people's PCs and crashing people's games. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And that just worries me so much more that this game has something like that.
I will actually say one more positive. The game itself, like runs well, like for a alpha or test or whatever else. Like
it didn't run great for me.
It ran smooth for me.
I had a few hiccups. I had some stutters and some rubber banding with the movement. Their movement's weird.
Yeah, I don't like their movement.
Come down to the movement, but so I won't say it might not run perfectly for everybody.
Right. So what I don't like about it, aside from NetEase, right, is like the gunplay does not seem meaningful at all. Like
boring.
It's
and then
very,
when you combine that with the AI, the AI is so stupid, dude.
The other downside that I have with the gunplay is the fact that like literally the two best weapons, they really don't give you any real incentivization to go for anything other than like long distance, the snipers, as well as the crossbows. Like those are the two biggest damage dealing weapons in the game, and using any other weapon in the game is pretty much useless in comparison to those. I mean, it's good for like if you want to put down a lot of bullets down range, right? But like you're not doing the same damage that you're going to be doing with like the sniper rifle or the crossbow at all.
Right.
Like
and not to mention just their like ADS system and aiming system is god awful.
It's not good.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was that bad. Like in comparison to some of the other games, like the over the shoulder games that we've played in the past, in the past like 2 years, I didn't think it was really that terrible.
I mean, they're over the shoulders, all right, but honestly, I think if they would have just stuck with that, that's fine.
Even their first person, I
don't think their first person's good at all. I think it's
I did not like that.
Really poorly designed.
This is nitpicking the shit out of it, but I just didn't like the way that you had to ADS. Like it was like I don't know, like you hold
to ADS or whatever.
It's weird. I don't know. Like I don't like any game that does that.
Click. If you did a quick double click, it would swap between the aim over the shoulders or the first person shooter one.
Yeah.
So
I think they would have been fine just sticking to the third person. Yeah,
but I think they would have as well. I think that
there's
they put
a lot of
development
I could have about this game.
I think that they put a lot of development into like those specific like graphic design when it comes down to like first person, where they could have just spent that.
Let's get down to where I think our differences are going to really shine, and that's the whole game in of itself.
Yeah,
this game, to me, and I think Sin as well, does not know what it's trying to be, or maybe not that, but it's trying to be just way too much. When I looked at this game and I played it, I was seeing pulls from every other game that's been popular right now. You have games like The Division, you have games like Destiny, Rust, you have even going as far as Pal World recently. They have like, workers that'll work for you. And that's all right, it gives you that ADHD player a lot of stuff to do. Cool, great. But when you put all of that stuff into this game and pack it all in there, what they don't do well is every single category. They do just okay, in every category. They meet that base like minimum of like, it works, it's good enough, send it. Yeah. And it just doesn't do anything great, man, to me.
It has a lot of, like me and Enigma.
Oh,
He just went full. He said, "No, fuck it. Now we get nothing." So me and Enigma, kind of talked a little bit about this during this week
Are
too.
you breaking rocks with other rocks?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're breaking a rock with a rock.
It's rust.
I am very accustomed to like Eastern style games, and a lot of Eastern style games and Eastern free to play, especially, are like riddled with different types of currency and all of these other kind of mechanics.
Right.
And they also do that here, where it is like mechanics on mechanics on mechanics on
Yeah.
currencies on like all of
like
these
Lost Ark,
things.
for example. Love Lost Ark. I
Yeah.
think that game's great. But
see that, and again, I feel like it's, and I'm sorry, my dogs are going fucking
You're
crazy in the
good.
background. I hope you guys can't hear them.
you're okay.
Um,
I
We
don't.
can't.
The thing is like, and you said it yourself, Scruffy. It's like, if you're not used to like the Eastern style of games, that
Right.
can be overwhelming. But like, I really don't think that there's that many like in comparison to what is out there on the market right now from the Eastern markets and from NetEase itself. This has very few in comparison to like a lot of those Eastern titles.
So
Yeah.
if you what do you like?
Currencies, like different currencies. This
Oh,
does
I'm not
not
even-
have that
I'm
many.
not really talking currencies. I'm talking mechanics and like
Okay.
game.
I'm talking
features
currencies.
Yeah,
I
so
think-
that-
I
that's
think
that's the last that I heard was currency. So
oh, I don't know. I thought there was only like two currencies that I saw in this game.
I saw three. I think
Yeah,
three,
there's-
if not four.
Okay.
There's
Well,
I
I
think
was
there's
mainly
4
talking about the
total.
game mechanics and features that it just
But-
overloads. There's a lot,
And-
and also, sorry to bring cut you off, but I feel like this game was not trying to be a survival at first. And I think
I don't
Sin
think so either.
mentioned that
yeah,
too.
I don't think it was either.
It definitely was given some BR vibes. Like it
I've-
was
I've-
trying to go
I've-
down
yeah.
BR. I was getting like that super people vibe to
Yeah.
the game and kind of PUBG-ish, and
I
then
was gonna say
it-
it looks very PUBG
It
from
looks
the
very
Yeah.
PUBG-ish
gunplay
for
and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
so that, like I said, I think the game really had a big identity crisis. And they scrambled and they're like, oh shit, what do we do?
My biggest
Everything.
my biggest
Just-
thing is like I'm curious because like this to me felt like very much what I was expecting Division to be originally, with like, obviously without
Really?
like the horror aspects and everything like that, but like the survival aspects and like the looter shooter aspects. To me, they both feel
See, I might be
okay. They
I
both
actually
feel pretty decent.
like how the Division turned out. Like their
Well, you like how
gameplay-wise,
the
like-
Division turned out by what it is right now, but like what we expected it to be when it first released, which was supposed to be
No,
an
it-
MMO like this. That was what it was.
I
That's
mean,
the only thing that I'm
the
talking
only
about on
thing-
this one.
well, we don't have to talk about the Division. Never mind. But
What? No, it's fine. We,
no,
we,
I was saying I was gonna get into a whole rant about the Division, but we're talking about Once Human here, so
I just
I mean, it's its only direct comparison. That's the biggest thing is like that's
Yeah.
the only direct comparison that it has on the market right now is Division.
I
So-
just I agree with you, Enigma. Like I wanted more MMO-ness from the Division, and so when I looked at this, I was like, oh, cool. But like, to me, I'm just kind of like, hey, you have like Scruffy said, and I had mentioned there, like you have all of these different elements, and none of them are done extremely well.
Yeah.
They're all just kind of done
And-
very mediocre, like maybe at okay level.
Yeah.
And I'm just
And
kind of like,
I agreed with you initially on that point
Yeah.
where it's like I'm curious if that's a little bit, and this is not me stating anything, this is not me giving them a line, this is just me stating I'm curious if that's just because it's so early in the alpha or the beta that they don't have all that stuff fleshed out. I'm hoping
Maybe.
that that's the case, but I
I
do
don't-
agree with you. It doesn't feel like it's fleshed out entirely. It does feel like it's very pieced together in
Like-
in an aspect of like it like you said, the survival aspects feel like they were a last minute thing,
right.
right?
Like I just don't
Right.
think that. To me, I'm like, you don't need like I don't think that you need the survival aspects in there. I don't think you need the whole like I need food, I need water or whatever. You can
Yeah.
get the hell, like you can get the boosts that I understand, like the boosts that are there, right? And get that, like that's fine. Like if you want to have that kind of element into it. I really don't think, because I've looked at like very expansive bases. And I'm just kind of like, I don't even think that you really need the base building aspect like that in this. I think that you could have done.
I don't
like,
think you need it,
I think
but
what
I
would have
think
been
it's a
better.
cool it's a cool thing to have in the game regardless.
Maybe I think what would have been better is just having like a settlement, like a shelter, put down a shelter that you progressively just upgrade.
Yeah,
Like
I can
Fallout?
see
That's what it is.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
but
it is.
you're,
It's
you're
just
building it
it's just a
yourself
base
though and
thing.
everything. I mean, just like something you just.
Oh, okay. I got you. Like a prefab.
I almost think just like Lost World,
Yeah.
where you go back
Or-
into like your little base. Like remember Lost World? Like you'd go back to like your little like
or
I
even
don't know
like
settlement.
EFT. You know how they have their little bunker, like that
Yeah,
you just
but like I
upgrade
could,
throughout time. That's what I mean. Something like that.
I could see it cool of being like, hey, we're gonna have a guild, right? We're going out, we're scrap like because you to me instead of adding this like base building Rust-esque element to it, you could be like, yo, you could have added like almost like an EFT style thing to it, where you're like, hey, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get all these like this forces PvP. You know, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get all these pieces, all these parts that we want to bring back so that we can mod our guns and whatever. And you know, you don't have to have it back at a base. Like you can go back to like your home.
What's that one? Escape from Tarkov. Would that have been more like down what you get?
Yeah, I
that's,
mean,
that's what I said. Yeah, EFT,
I would have liked. I would have liked
saying, like a
for the
bunker
base.
like that.
I'm not sure what EFT is. So
yeah, the base part of that, yes, 100%. You know, I have not gotten into the PvP because you have to be level 10. It's marked behind level 10. I have watched some PvP elements,
get it that far, yeah.
and it seems very not good. You know, I've watched quite a few people do PvP, and it has just didn't seem good.
It just seems like their gunplay and everything is not great either.
Well, it has the Destiny problem that like the trials have, which is if you have someone that has grinded the shit out of it, they're gonna naturally have way better guns, better stats, so they can two tap you, right? And you're just gonna get fucked. By like, whereas someone that is just starting out as a noob, you're gonna get completely steamrolled. You know,
that's the problem with like some of these survivals that have like this level system and skill system,
yeah,
unlike Rust, where it's like you grind for your gear, and if you die, you lose all of that. You in this, you might lose your gear, but you keep all those like stat boosts and everything like that. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I personally enjoyed it. Though the little bit that I played, I'll full disclosure, I only put about like maybe an hour or 2 hours worth of time into it. I'm not that far into it, right? But those 2 hours that I did play, I was like, oh yeah, I could see myself playing this. Again, like you said, there are certain aspects of it that I am very wishy-washy about, iffy about, like again, like you said, like the security issues that are being brought up, the launcher issues. Why the fuck are we having to download your launcher when you're launching it on Steam? Makes no sense to me either. That's just NetEase.
Yeah,
they're terrible.
But
I
there's
don't
no excuse for that either.
No,
because,
there's not.
They have Naraka on Steam.
Yeah, no,
like they have their games on Steam. There's no reason.
I'm not stating that.
I know. I'm just like voicing my opinion on why
I
it's
I
absurd.
100% agree with you. It's fucking stupid.
It is.
And so I want to fast forward to this one part, and then we'll move on, right? But I wanted to fast forward to this one section, because this is also a major complaint that I have of this game, which is and again, I bugged out, right? Which is completely fine, right? But like I had a bug where I could not progress past it. I had to find a way to Skyrim the shit to get up to there. Again, that is a bug. It's completely fine. I'm not gonna fault the game necessarily for this. But what I don't like, and it just seems so fucking weird, is that again, on top of all of what this game is trying to be, it is force feeding you this story, right? That makes no sense. And also,
you hate story though, so it's fine.
We all know how much Sim loves story.
But I'm not alone in this one. Like,
yeah,
the story
I
is
don't
bad.
think the story is necessary in this game, and if like I think that's what The Division does great, is they have a story, but you can piece it together if you want. You can find the pieces to put the story together if you want. This game, you have to go down like the story route, at least in the beginning. Like I said, I haven't played too much of it, but I know
not really. Division, you're required to do the main storyline to get anywhere in the game.
But yeah,
like it's not like you can just do whatever you want to in the Division. You have to do the storyline with the Division to get places.
I don't even. To me, I don't even. The Division story is fine to me. Like, completely kind of okay. I actually attempted to go through the story because I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to enjoy story more, and I tried to go through the story, and it's just not good. It's bad. You can tell it is a force fed thing. And it is very bad.
It's an Eastern story.
It's also fucking really weird that like one of the missions is having you take a picture of this little girl. Feels very odd.
Yeah, the introductory one.
I've never had a game that made me utilize like a photo mode
the photo
to progress.
mode, yeah. And honestly,
Final Fantasy makes you
Do they?
It's weird.
I was about to.
It's side
Is it
quests,
optional?
but
Well,
I was about to say that that feels like a very Eastern thing.
This girl to remember her or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
it's just
like I said,
weird.
it feels like a very Eastern thing for them to do that. I don't know.
And then this part of this mission or whatever else, which you can see me like getting more and more frustrated as I'm trying to get up because I'm supposed to be getting up this fucking ladder and there's no prompt to get up here. Like I can't, and so I can't, and I can't back out of this mission. Like if you try to leave, it will be like you get warped back to the mission area, and there's no way for me to complete. Like so, I get it completed, but it doesn't tell you like the story here of why you're doing it. It doesn't tell you why. It doesn't give you really anything other than just being like, hey, here's this. It doesn't tell you what to do. Outside of what's in the top left hand corner. It just is it's just not good. Like I don't know why in this style of game you don't need a story. Like I think you could have just been like, hey, you're surviving, there's other fucking people, kill these monsters, that's it. Like just
like I said, I think with these kind of games, like this story should just be something you piece together, find like little lore bits if you want, just make it an optional thing.
I also think that it's really stupid that you have a motorcycle that they give you whenever I am able to control fucking things with my mind and like fly with this fucking bird.
Motorcycles are cool, man.
Well, hey,
Not
man,
these.
at least they gave you a mount on like fucking New World that went for how many years for that amount?
I guess so. But again, going back to cool elements, like some of the guys that you kill, like they'll have like these different type like elements to them that you can pick up, like their head. And one was like a briefcase with a fucking tongue that shot out this shit. One was like a beam that microwaved other enemies. Again,
that was another rip. They ripped off Control with like some of those aspects, like you could pick up barrels and like launch them with like telekinetic.
Yeah,
telekinetic powers.
You get a control element to it. I don't know. Again, this game. I don't want to say that this game is bad. It's like go into it with the expectation, understanding that this is going to probably be it's a mediocre game at best with all the different elements. It's not going to do like it does. I will say like
at
the
least
loot mechanics
right now
is cool. Yeah, but I don't know what this is going to become.
Yeah, we're basing this off of a beta as well. So
I was going to say like at least right now, I know I am being like harsh on the game. I really did not enjoy it. But I know a lot of people are. I gave my account to my buddy to try the game because he was really into it and he's liking it. So I'm like, all right,
I got flamed at work, dude. So I was just like, this game sucks. And this guy was like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, fuck you. This game's fucking amazing. I'm like, you're playing something very different.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's like uber amazing. But yeah.
You know what it is to me, and I think I said this to Scruffy, is that this is a genre that is completely starved for content right now. There is not really a great like there's not been a super so far phenomenal PvP game because like Division games. Yeah.
Division 2 is really the only thing that's going on right now in this style of game. And like granted, from what I've heard, their latest update is supposed to be phenomenal. So we might have to go back to Division 2. I've been hearing a lot about Heartland. I don't personally think Heartland is going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be, but
I honestly have no idea what that game is going to be.
Well, we've had people play it; they just can't talk.
So, yeah, I mean it's.
But yeah, so anyway, so it's Once Human. It's out. If you get into the playtest, it's going on through like the middle of May. So go give it a try. It's free. It's free.
You got to get a code though, right?
Yeah, they'll email you. They're being pretty open about giving their codes out. So.
Yeah,
that was and just to talk about one last thing with their codes. That was one thing that pissed me off about this game. Like normal companies, the way that they provide codes, right? It's like you sign up for their code base and it emails out to you, right? That's normal in any gaming franchise out there, right? Like you sign up for a newsletter, you get accepted, and they email you a fucking code, right? These guys, they're just like, join our fucking Discord and maybe you'll get one.
Yeah. And then the way that you enter a code is also fucking weird because most things you have to enter the code into the launcher to get access. They're like, no,
even go into the game,
download the game, run the game, choose your server, pick the server, hit play, and then you
now you got me thinking that's also really sketchy. Do they want me to download the game? Like, why are they letting us download the game?
Anyway.
The last beta as
The
well. That was
to me.
what a lot of people pissed a lot of people off as well. Was their community managers were just terrible. They were just like, yeah, come into the Discord. We'll post like 100 codes in our Discord, and if you get it, you get it. You know, like if you get the code, you get the code. It'll be in our Discord chat, and like literally 90% of those codes are getting picked up by bots. So it's like, why do
it's
that?
the worst way to do it.
Yep. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the patch notes. And if you want to join us live, we stream every single Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube, as well as on Twitch. Also, if you miss a show, you can always catch us at anchor.fm/pre-patch podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the show.